Welcome to our executive interview with FACC. Committed to the sky is the motto of FACC, a global leader when it comes to developing, designing and manufacturing advanced aircraft components and systems. I'm joined by Aleš Stárek, CFO of the company. Alex, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Good, so let's get started right away. Alex, can you outline what the main advantages of your material technology are for customers in the civil aerospace industry?
Yeah, so what we are doing is we are basically engaged in a lightweight composite material production, design production, and later on also maintenance and repair. These lightweight carbon fiber components have a unique, let's say, have a unique advantage against the traditional materials in a sense that they are lightweight, of course, but also on the other hand, they have an advantage in the way they can be formed. So forming these materials into shape is much easier than with the traditional materials like aluminum or steel.
Good, thank you. Can you give us an overview of the market environment for civil aircraft and how it is expected to develop over the next few years?
Yeah, the civil aircraft, or let's say the civil aviation market went through a difficult period of time for the last 2 years due to the pandemic. Now we see that all the restrictions are being lifted. We see that people still want to travel. So the aviation and the travel is coming back. In different segments of the market, it's a different pace of recovery. The domestic market is recovering faster than the international market. Asia and especially China is still lagging behind. But anyway, we see that the volumes are increasing. Our customers are increasing the rate of the aircrafts, and especially in the area of single-aisle aircraft, the A320, A220, and the 737 are increasing in rates, and this is good news for us, as we are very well positioned on these single-aisle aircraft, especially on the A320 and the A220.
So, and how does this market translate into prospects for your established customer programs, such as the Airbus A320 family, and what do newer programs, such as the A220 add?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and basically the A320 is a very important platform for us. It has increased in the share of revenue over time, and then reached approximately 30-35% of our revenues that we are generating from this platform. Now, during the crisis, that platform has been produced at the rate of 40 airplanes per month. Today, we are approaching a rate of 50 airplanes per month, and there is a clear commitment on Airbus side to increase this production rate to 65 over time, and even to a rate of 75 airplanes by the year of 2025. So, with our unique positioning on the A320, with the growth prospects on the A320, we have a huge leverage in terms of volumes, sales increases, but also contribution margin and profitability. The same, maybe on a different scale, applies for the A220, which is a very new platform, a very efficient aircraft. Over the last couple of years, we have been able to increase the share of work packages on that platform. Now, that platform is also increasing significantly, maybe even doubling the production rates over the next couple of years. So we also expect a significant increase in turnover from this platform.
Thanks. Now, what are the main challenges in ramping up production to meet the increasing customer demands? Thinking about labor, energy, materials, component supply chains, for example.
Yeah, so in our case, we are a little bit differently positioned than maybe other industries, such as automotive, for example, where the companies are struggling with availability of chips and different other materials. For us, the materials are very specific, very unique, so we are not so much competing with other industries on these materials, especially when it comes to carbon fiber, the pre-brakes, the underlying material that we are using as FACC. For the aviation industry, it's pretty much more about the learning curves and about productivity increases, efficiency increases. Ramping down a production means that that basically people are repeating what they are doing on the shop floor less and less. And now basically we need to again in the ramp up get to the point where people get more familiar with the production processes and with what they are producing. And this is the major challenge in ramping up production in the aviation industry.
And what levels and types of investment are required to deliver the growth? And what is the financial position of the group currently?
So before the corona pandemic has come, we have been at the levels of 800 million turnover per year. Then we dropped to 500, but still the installed capacity is capable of delivering 800 million turnover. So on the way up, there would not be necessarily a big demand into investments. However, what we are seeing, and especially this is basically the change in the product mix. So the wide-body aircrafts are now delivered at a lower rate, and as we already discussed, the A320 and 220, the single-aisle aircrafts are delivered in high volumes. So due to this product mix, there is a certain need to increase the capacity over time. What we have done in 2021, we started with a first step of building a new factory in Croatia, which is both capacity and also cost competitiveness driven. That first investment and the first stage has been completed last year. Now we are ramping up the production in that facility. Investments related to that were approximately 12 million euros. Now we are kicking in a stage 2 and 3 of these investments, which will lead to additional investments in the amount of approximately 22 or 24 million euros. Overall, what we have kicked off this year is another, let's say, 150 million investment plan. Part of it, for sure, is dedicated to Croatia. Part of it is dedicated to engineering and the tooling and then all the new projects that we have in the pipeline. That investment will stretch over a period of approximately 5 years. So we are looking at an investment program of 30 million euros per year. To put it in perspective, before Corona in the years 17, 18, 19, we have been running an approximately 40 million per year investment program. We scaled down during the pandemic 2020, 2021 to approximately 20, and now we are back on track, coming to an average investment of 30 million per year for the next 5 years.
Now looking in further into the future, can you tell us about how your business is developing in the 2 new segments of space and urban air mobility?
With respect to urban mobility, we have actually been in the segment already since 2018. We started our cooperation with EHang and developed that over time. That was a good entry point for us to develop the skills in the engineering area, to see basically how the requirements and the engineering needs are comparing to our core business in the civil aviation. And now we are basically, as this market is evolving and developing, we are adding new projects, new customers, new products. So the only open question here is how fast the certification and the regulation process is going. But also here we see good progress in the last couple of months. So all the new participants, and we have already communicated in the middle of the year, we have acquired a new project from Archer. So it's not only EHang, it's Archer. It's a US-based company entering into that market. So the development here will pretty much start today. Is pretty much starting today. We are generating first turnover from these projects, and we see that there is a potential until, let's say, 2025, 2026 to get into an area of maybe 100 million turnover plus minus. On the space, it's a little bit different. This is a really new market that is just now basically evolving. All the micro launchers and micro satellites that we see coming up, but this market will need time. I think the size of the market is maybe even bigger than for the urban mobility, but this market will still need time to develop and to get into significant volume. So for us, it's a little bit looking into the second decade of this of 2030, and in the second half of this decade, and then we are expecting significant turnover from space rather towards 2027, 2028.